Hey, it's Lady Scorpio at the Crossroads. I'm going to try this again because I am super tired. Like, it's 100 degrees here. Humidity levels are outrageous. And this house is overcrawling with spiders, roaches everywhere. I just went downstairs and there was roaches everywhere. It's hotter in here than it is outside. It's absolutely pathetic, this lady who owns this house. So anyways, recently I kind of did a messy video on to investigate or not to investigate, but I think I may have to do a little investigation here because I'm hoping to be gone in 2 months. I'm hoping. So, anyways, just gotta work my yardy off. So, anyways, so I was like investigating hauntings. Should you do them? Should you not do them? Always seek a professional, somebody who's trained in it. Check out their credentials, see who they are. I mean, somebody like me, I may not have very many credentials. I just have people, strangers, who come to me off the street because I specialize in weird stuff. I really have to go back to school, get some certifications or something, just to appease the masses or to try to prove that. Because it's so hard. You've got so many scammers. It's like, they say it's the devil's always working, or he never sleeps, but it's the same thing with people who are good and always trying to do something good for someone else. They never sleep, and their mind is always going with what's next. But anyways, investigating a haunting, you definitely want to seek sound professional advice. Make sure you look at any reviews somebody may have. So if you are going to start a business, you at least have a way to have reviews done. Me, I'm very private. I keep underground. I have lost jobs because of my abilities. I've had people, like I said, strangers come up to me, and then boss is mad, and it's like, well, what do you want? I serve somebody else before I serve you. Get mad over it? You're mad about that? Okay, whatever. Yeah, when you can read people good, it's something else. But anyways, I'm so funny. But it is really hot here. It's really difficult to keep on track. But definitely look at that. Have them tell you something before you pay them. Say, yeah, tell me some stuff about myself, and if they're true to their word and they know they're good, they're going to do it. Now, don't ask them to give a reading for you, because that would be unfair. That would be unfair. That would not be right. Would be a bad business practice. Okay? So in your home, what you're going to want to do too is keep a journal of things. You're going to want to put the date, the time, members present for what was going on and who all was in your house, like physically present, especially if you don't have the ability to see things. If you're somebody that's starting out, you believe you have the gift, or you have the gift, you're going to want to work with other people always, because you have to be very careful with this stuff, because people can turn on you. Just like when I was healing and I had a woman turn on me. Actually, I had two people. I had a woman, and then I had a woman's family member turn on me, so I took back the healing. And then what resulted in was them the one got very sick, so I said, okay, fine, reverse it. Angels, because, just reverse it and let it be. So with anything in life, we have to be really careful and very choosy in who we deal with, especially after my day-to-day at work. And I found out, I don't understand this, but anytime we're wanting to do things or we're wanting to do a good job, always be there with the people who want to do the good work and do the good job. Especially true when it comes to having these private businesses that deal with hauntings. Don't have somebody come to you that tells you, hey, this didn't get done, or that didn't get done, or let's do this, and then you turn around and tell other people, oh yeah, it was so-and-so's idea. Is that like dumb? Don't put down other members of your staff, because you will not get anywhere. You will not be successful. Gossip will ruin and destroy you. And being fake to people on your team. Learn to ask the right questions. Say, oh, you think that would be a good idea. Why? Oh, this didn't get done. Well, why did that not get done? Do things to turn things around and say, let's look at everything and see what's happening. So, it's the same thing with the hauntings. You're going to want to look at the local area. You're going to want to chart it. Do a satellite view with your phone, with Google, if it'll allow you. Look at, talk with the local people at the diner or wherever in this little town or city. find out and mark your things. Go driving around. Look at the area. What do you see? Do you see waterways? Do you see polluted water? Do you see railroads? Do you see old buildings? If you're a medium like me and you feel energy, what do you feel and why? Write down those things. You know, where you're at in those locations when you're going to investigate something. Um, and it's always easier for me, well, I shouldn't say always easier, but it seems like it's easier for me knowing nothing and going in and looking at things and seeing what's there than if I come and I hear people talk. I don't like to hear people talk too much about certain things beforehand. So when they say, please don't give me a lot of information, just give me your address and I'll go see what I can find. That is really, like, for me, the best way to do things. So if you're in your home and you have these hauntings and you need help, you need an advisor. Like I said, keep your journal. Write down anything and everything. If it's something really weird off the wall, write it down. You may have it happen once every 90 days and it may be like clockwork. Because like me, I'm an ENFJ, and when I was being cursed and hexed, I was like, hey, I'm seeing stuff. I am seeing, or experiencing like the same thing, and it's like in a wave. It's like every 90 days, or it's right between these certain moon phases. It's just, how can that be? This is really weird. And then I was like, angels show me something, and then I have a dream over it. And I do. I use angels, my spirit guides. I shouldn't say I use them. I don't really use them, but I ask for info. Basically, that's what we got in a nutshell. Lord, I hope it rains here. It's so hot. So make sure if you have these hauntings going on, you write these things down. If at all, at any time, you have things happen where somebody says they're pushed down the stairs, and maybe it's a repeat occurrence, or they're moved sideways, or you see some really crazy stuff, make sure you get a hold of somebody. Take note. Maybe you're at your home and maybe you have somebody come over and they're like, what the heck, I see a ghost. Maybe you have a friend that's a medium and you don't know, and it's so unnerving to that person, they actually speak up and say, what the heck's going on? Take note of it. Take note of it. Inside, outside, whatever you can. It just depends upon how bad it is. Here, I know I'm starting to think it's a lot worse than what I thought, and I really think I'm being pushed away from this house. And I think they're actually trying to push possibly, the people who are also living here with me. Because the woman that was living here, that owns this place, her husband beat her toddler to death. They said he was trying to throw her out the second-story window. Why, we don't know. Was he possessed? Is the dark spirit that I see? Don't know, but I don't want to get into that. I don't want to have that stuff come up. I don't know. I don't really care. I just know I want to be able to leave come 60 days or less and be out of here. Maybe it might be 90. It might be less than that, because if September's cold and rainy, I'm moving back into my car. Hell no. Hell no. No, it's pretty bad when you feel more safe in your car than you do in a house. So yeah, the energy in this area is not the best for all of the city. It's actually quite disturbing. I mean, I was expecting certain things to be here because this is the site. These are places where there were battles, but it's not even that. It's other stuff that's here. Other things that have been let in. So, on that note, so investigating a haunting, so you definitely want to do that. You always want to have protective items. I talk about people in the homes, in the places of work, always having protective items around them. And it's not just going to carry the stone. No, you pray over it with the angels. It's not like you alone. It's you and the angels, you and your spirit guides, you and your animal totems. It's the universal power that God has created down for everyone to be able to do the things they need to do. So, so you keep those religious, spiritual, whatever it has, whatever meaning or significance it has to you. You keep it around. But I will offer a word of caution here. If you've got, let's say, a cross and it's super old and it's maybe 100, 200 years old, you might want to have it saged and blessed, because who knows what it's picked up. If your items in your house have not been saged and blessed, maybe you've had it for 50 years, maybe it's been in the family for 200 years. It doesn't matter. Sage it, because energy is all over the place. It's not ever stopping. It's moving everywhere. So make sure you sage and cleanse and sweetgrass and Santa Paulo everything around you, inside your drawers. You like open up your drawers and sage over them. I recommend getting like a little shell or even a little tiny cast iron pot and putting your little charcoal in there to do your thing. Oh, hi, Creepy Colossal. How are you? Sorry, my videos aren't that best like here lately, but it's like super hot. Yeah, I'm working on something right now that's really bad. Like, we're talking like something new I learned about voodoo water maybe happening to be a possibility, because it's so destructive and so bad. Yes, so there may have been a massacre on the land. Yeah, and I already had read myself and another family member and came across other things. But yeah, I'm just giving like a little rundown. I don't want my videos to be that long, so I just give little tidbits. I was just on a page recently, and I had did a whole bunch of videos a while back. I don't even know if any are still on my channel anymore, but I had did a whole bunch of videos on Ouija boards, and I still had somebody in a private group I belong to saying that was good. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, they call it voodoo water, but it's not like that. It's what happens is it creates it so that there's no energy and no activity at all, because it's getting out of hand. Animals in people's lives, they're aging super quick, fighting. There's energies, entities, elementals there that are sucking energy out. This particular area, lots of deaths have occurred just in the last, I don't know, probably 50 years. Every intersection near this place has got things. There was a big train crash that killed a lot of people. There's actually, the train tracks were removed. It's a bike trail now. I took this young individual with me that's in the family, and they like wouldn't even go past the Great Pillars. When I go past, because I see the other side, I was like, I'm not here to harm you. I don't mean you any harm. I just want to investigate. I want to find out what happened. And it did. It looked like a hyena. It was a type of dog, but it was like, no, you can't pass. We ain't playing. We're just too pissed off right now. You're not getting through. So I don't know what all happened there. I know of a lot that happened. There are some things that are written, and there's people who are hiding behind their names, saying they're for one thing and they're not. I grew up in haunted. This is in northern Ohio. It's extremely haunted, in my opinion, up there, out of all places I've lived. But I will say I had a lot of experiences in New Mexico too. It seems like in New Mexico I was more in tune with supernatural. It's the same in Ohio, but New Mexico was outrageous. But yeah, I don't know why they call it voodoo water. I don't believe it is voodoo, but it's because it creates like a black hole, kind of. Like, it just deadens all the energy. It like closes the gate. But you're talking something that would be mass to do. Mass. So basically, it was already a natural doorway, gateway. Then bad things happened there. I believe that slaves and free blacks come through the area because there is a waterway that goes from there. It's about 55 miles long, the waterway, and it goes straight to the south. And I believe that they were taking children from them and just all kinds of things. You know what? I don't know if you can read anything on it. I asked a friend who does exorcisms, and she says that stuff is extremely powerful. You cannot do it by yourself. I don't have all the details. I just have that that's an alternate option. And because it is related to Native American, and we are Native American, even though I really don't look it. I mean, even my main spirit guide is Native American. And I'm like really, really drawn to that. So, we're going to try to do some other minor things first. to help out the area, but one thing out of place could just upset everything. And it doesn't help that 2 houses over, the people were doing seances and drugs and everything. You can try, but I can tell you right now, trying to find stuff is difficult. I have a friend who's a historian in the nearby town. My major is in history. My minor is in psych, though I wish I would have pursued psych and sociology. But I love all of it, and I love history. I did do research with the woman that my other family member and we would see waving. I actually went back to the time, and the woman who is known in the area for being the so-called liberator of blacks, they actually have an article online where she almost went to jail, but they didn't arrest white women back then. Not to be funny, but they didn't. And that was in Alliance, Ohio. And she was fighting with the lady who was the head of the KKK. She was fighting with her over her place because she wanted to be in that place. The church that was on the corner was still running programs from the time when this woman was there. And I remember being in middle school and high school, and how people would talk to Hispanics from the nearby city, and they would always talk so down, and I always would say, you know what, I'm going to find me somebody who is, that, and I'm going to marry that. And they're like, oh my God, and it was like mass hysteria. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I have books on them, on the demonology. I actually had a really good book, but it was in that house, and it like disappeared. I didn't realize how deep it was. I didn't understand at the time. There was just way too much going on, and in the military, I repressed a lot of my skills. I actually did have some officers that I work for make comments to me. There was things I would know, and they're like, how could you possibly know that? I am an ENFJ, so I love research. But they were like, what in the world? I'm like, I don't know. I just got it. And then when I left the service and had issues with the economy falling through, I had issues finding work, lost everything. But during this time, it's like everything just unfolded, like, or exploded really. And it was like, holy cow, I've got this, I've got that. And at one point, I actually remember sitting on the park bench in the Veterans Memorial one December night, freezing rain, Lake Erie to my back, and I was like, man, did I die and go to hell and not know it? And, I could hear everything. I could see the things around me. I could see, and they're like, they need to know with all this stuff here. But I don't want to scare people neither. And then I don't want to encourage people who are all about fire and brimstone and the devil's on every corner, because that would just, to me, would not be good. That's not good. That just doesn't ever work right. And if we're going to portray somebody who's awesome, then we should portray them like that. That's just not good. So having come from a background of abuse with the church, so I don't just do that, no. And in fact, too, with people, how do I put this? Like when I needed help and everything started coming to the surface, there was no one in the church. It's like, repent, you're going to go to hell. You can't be that. I'm like, I was born this way, just like my grandmother. I was born this way with the veils open, just like some of the other men in my family. So I'm not evil. You're reading your stuff wrong. But anyways, so here we go, everybody. Let me get off here. So I just wanted to do a quick video. I just wanted to do something light for people to help them out so they know, where to go, what to do. Anyways, I hope everybody has a good night. Ow. Oh, I swear to gosh. I don't know what is going on here. This place is so creepy. But anyways, I just want everybody to have a good night. Just make sure you do the right things. Always just contact somebody to help you out and what you need with different things, okay? All right, well, let me get off here. All right, Lady Scorpio at the Crossroads, signing out.